Yo, what's cracking, boys? It's DaleyTactics here, and today we are back with another Lego video. We're at the Lego table, which is in utter disarray after crunch time for the stop motion, and just a whole lot of hoopla was going on this table recently. So, you know, it's a bit messy. I apologize about that. But today's project is a custom ATTE, but there is a twist to this. It is a 501st ATTE variant. I am super excited to get into this thing. I think what I'll do is I will build this off camera. I'm not gonna do a speed time lapse because the last time I did one of those in one of these building videos, people said they just kind of skipped it anyway. So I don't know, comment down below if you prefer it when I do the speed time lapse or if you'd prefer it where I just cut straight to the finished product, because I'm fine with either way. But you know, just so you can see, this is how all the pieces parts look unassembled here. We got the 501st boys waiting in the wings to man this thing. They're waiting for their ATTE tank to be built. Now this ATTE was purchased from Republic Bricks. Republic Bricks is pretty notorious amongst the community for his you know, custom Lego products. I believe this ATTE is from the original Lego design, but he customized it and fitted it out to be you know, in 501st colors, which I think is really cool. I believe the price was, I think, $220. I don't remember exactly, but somewhere around that ballpark. All of the parts at first glance look pretty clean. They're of course used quality, but that's okay. You know, I was sort of expecting that, but they do look clean, which is great. So all is looking well so far. The instructions are online, so I will utilize those. This is my first time purchasing from Republic Bricks. I bought this, and then I also bought some mystery packs that we'll be opening in a separate video. And I have to say, he seemed like a pretty nice guy. The only problem that I had was that the shipping was just ridiculous. So I bought this on May 4th, I remember, because it was like his Star Wars Day opening, I believe. I believe it was May 4th. It was definitely very early May, but I'm almost 100% sure it was May 4th. And it took like 1 month to get here. It took an entire month for this to get here, which is crazy. Kind of unacceptable. Towards the end, when it still hadn't even shipped, I started messaging him and was like pretty livid because you know, it nowhere in the website before this happened did he state that it would take a month to ship. So I felt kind of bait and switched. Later he did post that shipments were super delayed, which at least he was keeping people informed, sort of, but it was only posted on the website, and it, you know, you didn't get alluded to. So I would definitely say buyer beware in terms of that, because it could take a while. However, on his Instagram after all of this, he said that he really messed up. He was very swamped on this massive order he had on May 4th. He had never mass sold Lego sets before, and this was like a big learning experience for him. He apologized and all of that to everyone, and he seems like a genuinely fairly nice guy from my DMs with him after conversing about this. So I have to say, yeah, maybe a little buyer be warned kind of a thing there, because it does take a really long time for it to come. I don't know if in the next haul it will take a super long time. I know he's doing a big relaunch of the site in about a week's time, and I probably will buy some more things then for YouTube content, but hopefully it doesn't take an entire month to come. Hopefully he's learned his lesson and figured things out a little bit better. So just, you know, I do have to say, it seems like he's got great products. I mean, we'll see once this thing is built, and he seems like a great person to purchase from. My only gripe is that it took ages, so just a small little caveat there. But yeah, without further ado, guys, I'm gonna build this thing, and you guys will get to see the finished product. So I'll be right back. Alright boys, here we go. It's been just a second or two for you guys, but it's actually been a couple days for me. This thing took longer to build than I thought it would, but you know what? It was worth it. It was a fun build. I enjoyed it quite a bit, so now I guess we'll do the review portion of this thing. Let's get like a nice little panorama 360 thing going on. So you got this side here, you got the front, you got this side, and then you've got the booty over there. Pretty cool ATTE. I think we'll go over the cons first, and then we'll go over the pros, and then I'll give like sort of a final overall review of what I think of this thing. So first of all, the cons. There were a couple missing pieces / miscolored pieces. For one, you can see these like hinges right here. One is black and one is lighter gray. And I looked all over this thing, made sure I made the right colors in other places wherever those hinges were used, and I did in every other place, but for some reason, I'm pretty sure they just gave me the wrong color one, so that's mismatched right there. On top of that, there was one of these missing bricks. One of these little triangle ones. One of those was missing there, so I just slapped my own little blue guy on there. Kind of sad one of those was missing, and I'm like 99% sure it is missing and not that I lost it, because I looked everywhere, man, in the vicinity and could not find it, and I don't remember any spillage during this entire thing. Everything was very contained, so I just don't I'm pretty sure it's just missing, which is kind of sad, but you know what? That's a good replacement right there. I put it on the inside so you can hardly see it. There was one other piece on the interior. It was just like a random brick piece that was also missing, but I had a spare one. It was a pretty common piece, so I just used mine. So that was kind of a bummer. You know, 99.99% of the pieces were there, but still kind of annoying to have a few missing. And then on top of that, the used bricks, you know, I was saying they looked pretty clean before. Actually, there was quite a few grimy ones. There was one up here up front. Let me see if I can show you that. It's got like stains on it there. That's kind of gross. One of these black ones has like gunk in it. I tried washing it. It was way worse before, and it's still pretty bad, but like maybe 80% of the pieces are like pristine, and then the other 20% are either kind of like gross and dirty / like scarred and scratched and stuff. So that was kind of a bummer, but I expected the pieces to be used anyway. I think he made in a recent Instagram post, he made a post saying that he wasn't going to be using used parts anymore. I'm pretty sure, like I'm 75% sure he said that. So, you know, that's a non-problem anymore, but you know, it was kind of a problem for me. On top of that, some of the used pieces were not quality controlled, especially with these little hinge flappy boys. Like you see how there's, let me take one off. That one came off really easy. You know how there are these things? Some of them are like widened, so they don't really stick on, and they keep on falling off at like the slightest touch. Right now they're all sort of like stuck in place, which is nice, and I really tried to like squeeze them on there so they'd stay. So that was another problem, was like a lot of like hinged pieces, or like, you know, pieces that sort of fit together, they were worn, so they didn't always fit together super well, and that was a little bit frustrating during the build. On top of that, I think this is just a Lego problem, because I believe this build, I might have said this earlier, I believe this build is based off of an actual Lego build, but he changed it so it would be 501st themed. So this might just be a Lego problem if that is true. But the feet, man. So as you can see, when you lift it up, the feet like dangle a lot, and there's like a pole in here connecting this little black piece down there to this, you know, gray slot here. And the pole is just a little too short, and it results in these feet flying off all the time. I had to like really micro manage it to get it to like really stick on there, and then I had to press really hard to make sure they stuck on, and still I was having them come off in transit and stuff like that. So that's a little bit frustrating, but I do think that is a Lego problem overall. And I think that's about it for the problems in this build. I mean, I did get a few extra pieces just like, you know, Lego has, but I did have a few missing pieces, which I've never had that problem with Lego. So that was kind of a bummer, but you know, overall the experience of this build was pretty good. I actually really enjoyed it. I think it was a fun thing to build, and I love the outcome. I love the blue 501st ATTE here. I mean, it just looks sick, you know? So let's go over some of the features. The turret is really cool. Rotates 360, has a couple of missiles on here. You can just sort of like shove them and fire them, kinda. Has a nice spot for the gunner with a panel that shows, you know, a little, you know, diagram of whatever. So we have a custom 501st Trooper up there, in there, and he fits perfectly in there and doesn't wiggle around too much. You know, it's pretty sturdy, fairly sturdy. Then in the front here, we have a space on the interior for a clone. I don't know if you can fully see that. Let me try and... That's hard to focus, but you can kind of see him in there. Here, what about around the front? I don't know. I think that looks really cool. I like that a lot. I think that is a dope little thing, that little cupboard, and this comes straight out really easily, so you can take him in or out pretty nicely. On top of that, it has the 4 blaster turrets right there. Then up top, this pops up and reveals seats for 4 different crew members on the interior. They're fit in there pretty snugly, and you know, if you stick your fingers in there, they'll, you know, get all jumbled up and stuff, and it can be a little frustrating, especially when you got fat fingers like me. But you know, the tight space is made up for the fact that it exists, and I think that that's just a cool feature. So then this fits down there snugly, which is nice. It's got a little hanger thing here, so you can pick it up. I remember the turbo tank I had as a kid also had that feature. Pretty nice feature, so it means you don't have to like pick it up by the Legos and potentially break them. It's pretty nice. There's also a back hatch here. Actually, this is my favorite part. Underneath the back hatch, you can unfold a ladder from the belly. Oh, best feature confirmed. But then we do have a back hatch here, and I believe this is sort of like an armory area where you can put like little blasters. I put one right there in those hooks. There's room for 4, and maybe you could fit another clone or 2 in there. Maybe. But I just think that's kind of cool. And that just folds right back down there. And then you got the 2 back blasters. Oh, I think that's in. I think that's in properly. Meh, maybe not. I'll fuss with it later. It can be kind of tricky to maneuver this whole thing. It's kind of clunky a little bit. So yeah, I mean, those are sort of the features of it. I think it's really cool. I think it's a nice build, to be honest. I really enjoyed it. I think it's gonna make an awesome set piece. Maybe not the best for stop motions, because it would be really hard to make this thing look good walking. Like really, really hard to do. But you know, it could be static and just firing, and I think that would look really cool as a stop motion sort of a thing, but definitely not any sort of walking going on. That would be insanely difficult, and this thing is pretty fragile, so it wouldn't be great for that. Overall, I'd probably give this thing like an 8.5 out of 10. I would say, you know, if Lego ever releases another ATTE to the market, just buy the Lego one if you just want the ATTE vehicle in general, because then you get all the parts new and stuff like that. But in times right now when I'm pretty sure there isn't an ATTE officially on the market, only used ones on eBay from the past, which could be pretty expensive, then this is a pretty good option. In addition to that, Lego of course does not make, you know, 501st ones, or, you know, there's a ton of variants. There's a 212th one, I'm pretty sure. There's like a 187th one. There's a 332nd one. There's all sorts of them on Republic Bricks. So if you want the variations, then I would definitely go with Republic Bricks, because I think these are really nice variations, and the other ones look really cool too. So you know, if you're in the market for this sort of customization, I'd go with this over a Lego one, because theirs is just the generic one. But But if all you want is the generic one, then, you know, a new Lego one would solve a lot of these problems, though I'm pretty sure he is going to be using new pieces in the future, and he promised that he would fix the shipping problem, so that'll be all good. So this was essentially kind of a review of the vehicle itself, along with my experience with Republic Bricks. Overall, I'm glad I purchased this, for sure, and you know, might see it in some future videos. Either way, guys, let me know what you would rate it in the comment section out of 10. I'm very curious. Like the video if you haven't already, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, that's gonna be it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.